Good afternoon, everyone. It's Lynette here from sunny Brisbane, Hexagon Stitches. Thank you all for joining me on my very erratic Flosstube journey. But the family's all out today and I thought I'd take advantage of the time. It's been very busy lately with lots of coming and going and various things happening. So it's good to be able to have a little bit of time just to film this and share with you my manic stitching, which is all due to the fact that we now have, I think I mentioned it last time, but we have a stitch shop now called Coco Xstitch in Brendale here in Brisbane, and it's so exciting to have a brand new cross-stitch shop dedicated to cross-stitch. And the other thing is it's so exciting to meet other stitchers that have been around and I just haven't managed to meet up before. So you know, I talk about my friend Jenny, and she and I go on a Wednesday over there and stitch and just enjoy all the new things that are coming into the shop. And it's just revived my cross stitch. Not that it wasn't needing reviving, but it's done more than revive it. So I've got an eclectic range of things to do to go through today, and let's just see how we go, and hopefully my piles don't slide everywhere because I already put them in the wrong order and had to reorganise them and they started sliding. So the first thing, finishes. I did post on Instagram a picture of my fully finished Death by Cross Stitch. I turned it into a wall hanging. It's a little bit too large to show here at the moment, but if you want to have a look, I did a little contrasting fillet if you're into cross stitch quilting terms, and I'm very, very happy with that. It's nice to have it hanging up on my wall here. It'll probably eventually make its way as a long dog sampler to the cross stitch shop once she's organised for hanging things on the wall. So I've got out my Alice box, which I used to talk about a while ago, and I'm still planning on doing an Alice box video, but I'm not sure what triggered. Yes, I do know what triggered it. What triggered it was I was making some project bags and I came across this Alice fabric that I had, and I thought, well, I should put some cross stitch on them rather than just use the fabric. And then I delved into my Alice box and I've just realised I've forgotten something, but it can wait till next time. So the first thing I made was, in there I have a soda stitch pattern which is called Alice in Wonderland, and I'm in the process, it's nearly finished, I'm just hand stitching the binding down. But here she is. Now the actual pattern has got a border around it with the Queen of Hearts, I think, and some spades and other things, but I just thought I'd do this little bit for the cross stitch bag. And a friend of mine had given me these Alice fabrics a while back, and they were also stashed in my Alice box, so I've used them. That's that one, and on the back there's pieces of all of them. I'm quite happy with the binding on the front. I don't think it looks as good on the back, but it's what I had. So that's my Alice bag. So I think it looks, where we go, over here, sorry. I think it looks okay here where I've stitched it down. So I'm happy enough with that. So that was actually a start and a finish in the last week because I got a bit excited about it. I've also made some other project bags similar style that will be sold at Coco Xstitch. She's got two larger ones there at the moment. So if you're in the northern Queensland, North Brisbane area, northern suburbs of Brisbane, she's well worth a visit. It's beautiful. She's tucked right in the back corner when you go to find her, and her address and her website will be linked below. And the website is still a work in progress, but at least you'll be able to find the location. And she's open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday morning. It's very exciting. So I am very pleased to have a market finish, because previous market purchases, didn't even get started. But this one, because it's for my sister, is started and finished. and I'm thinking of turning it into a flat fold so she can stand it up, but I haven't quite got there yet. But at least I finished that. Plum Street, I really loved stitching this. I just really enjoyed it. What have we got? Because it's been sitting on my sewing table, it's got little bits of thread. There we go. So Stench Stack, a lot of fun. Okay, so that's finishes. So next I'm going to go into cells because I've gone a bit crazy with some of those. Of course, everyone's doing the LolaCrow Extraordinary Bird cell, and it's so much fun to go into the cross-stitch shop, and there's at least 4 of us doing it, and it's just a lot of fun to see other people working on the things that usually you just see online. So I got the border all finished, the first part, in time. And I'm a bit behind now. So the spoon bill was last week's instalment, along with down the bottom there, that splash of red is going to be a what we call here bird of paradise flower. I noticed in her notes she didn't mention, but it's in Australia and New Guinea as well as the places she mentions. Like, they're all around here. Just walk around them and you'll see them because they're pretty hardy. So to the, whatever this side is, of the spoon bill, there's going to be the blue-footed bird, whose name now escapes me. So I've been working on the foliage sitting above the spoon bill, because that was new for yesterday's release, and I'll work across, and hopefully I'll have both these 2 weeks caught up before next week's release. But I am so loving stitching this. Have I got on my thing? Yes, I have. I've been stitching this on 36 count colour Cascade fabric, and I can't remember what the colour is. I haven't got it written down here. So that's a lot of fun, and it's looking amazing. If I get in a little bit closer with this, can you see how amazing that's looking? There's still a little bit back stitch on the spoon bill to go, which will bring it out. So I'm very, very glad I finally decided to do a LolaCrow stitch along, because that was very good. Then the other stitch along I started was Stained Glass Sampler Cell by Carolyn Manning. This is stitch 1/1 on 18 count Aida fabric Flair Cloud Lilac. And what you're supposed to do, sorry, hold it up, is you're supposed to stitch 2 each release. I think it's 2 a month. So that's the first release. This is the second release, and this is the third. You're supposed to also have colours in there. And my plan when I started this was to get all the black done and then go back. So one thing I forgot to mention is I'm doing, as usual, the magazine monthly challenge thing. I did really well last month. This month is a bit shaky, but we've still got a few days left. So this month's theme was antique, which I'm doing an Anne Morrison sampler that I'll bring out in a minute. And then the acrostics was mahogany. So this is actually the M for mahogany for Carolyn Manning stained glass cell, and the plan was to at least have had that block filled in before the end of May. So I think I'd like to at least have this finished and get these in, and we'll see where we go. But I'm a bit like, I was going to say rabbit in the headlights. I'm not quite sure that's what I mean. I've just got so many things, I don't know which way to go next. So many things I want to stitch. So that was the M. And while we're talking about that, the A is aqua, because my Fisher King by Long Dog Samplers is in an aqua thread. I haven't brought that out because I haven't done anything on that yet. So we're on cells is what we're supposed to be on. Let's put that aside. This will also link to cells. Is the Fox and Rabbit 2025 cell, which is in mahogany it's the G for the gardens, because it's cloistered gardens. So these are the threads I'm using. So this is the, I know they're beautifully arranged. I said to someone the other day, my videos are very, can't remember what I said. Anyway, not too fancy. So this is the Colorist 4505, and these are the companion colours. So you can look up DMC colorist number and find the colours that come from it. But I felt like it needs a bit more, so I'm adding a darker purple to the colours. So that's what I'm using for this, and it's in my Fox pencil case I got from our local Officeworks store, and I'm really behind in this. We had, so this is the other thing I found out, that the Crossstitches of Brisbane meet at the Chermside Library on the first Saturday of the month, which I didn't know about before the shop opened. So I went there last time and I had it all these bits set up so I could just stitch, and all I got done was that border there. And now there's another thin border that goes around here, and I really wanted to have that finished because I think that's what my acrostic says I'm supposed to have done. Yes, I'm supposed to have completed May, which is a really small section, which is good considering this was January, this is February. Can't remember what March was. Maybe March was these and April was the corners, and now May is this next little border. So we'll see how we go. When I pull it out, I quite enjoy doing it, and the fabric is a 36 count Zweigart. Oh, wait a minute, have I got to label it? No, like a raw or that kind of thing. So that's that cell. And then, you know how you make these rash decisions sometimes? The Crossstitch Studio popped up because I've been in that group because I did try to do one of their yearly sales a couple of years ago, the one with the seahorse, and I never finished it because there was so much background in it. And they have a May challenge where you're supposed to work 30 minutes a day on one of their patterns, and I thought, well, I don't have any other patterns, I should buy one. So I did. I bought Elton. Look at this. How fantastic is Elton? Now, I looked at the stitch count. It's 450 by 595, and I'm thinking, oh, that's not too bad. But that's actually quite a lot of stitches. And, you know, I have finished one full coverage. Anyway, so I'm working on Elton, and it's 30 stitches a day. But I figure 30 minutes a day. But when I do the Magazine Monthly Challenge, things like Bringo and that, it's 100 stitches a day, which is about an hour. So it depends what you're working on. You can get more stitches in, obviously, if you're just doing the black. So I'm working on 100 stitches a day because I think that's about at least 30 minutes, and then I can just have my markup set for that, and it just gives me the confetti when I've done my 100 stitches, and some days I've done more. So I'm up in here on the top of this flower and this little thing. I'm really enjoying it, actually really enjoying it. Now this here, look at all those stitches. So you know what percentage I'm up to? 1.6%, and I haven't even finished a page. So the page, you can sort of see the page is coming in here, because I'd actually, even though I've got it on markup, I quite like the idea of having page finishes. So I'm working towards at least having this page finished by the end of May. So that's where I'm picking threads from. I sort of pick them from the highest bit and then work it in and then go back. But I couldn't resist going across here because I wanted to see what was going across there. So that's this corner here. And it's actually, look at the detail in that. I'm really, really pleased. This is not just black, this is also a dark blue 936 in there as well. So I'm really enjoying picking that up. Oh, and my daughter, my lovely daughter, what would you like for Mother's Day? And I go, well, a gift card from Coco Xstitch would be lovely. So she rang up Coco Xstitch and ordered me a gift card. And so this is one of the things I bought. It's this gnome needle minder. And sorry, I can't remember who it's by, but they're really good needle minders, because I tend to not, when I'm not in between sessions, I always put my needle in my fabric, because I've had needle minders where it's fallen off. So I only use this while I'm stitching, and you know, you put it down to get a new thread. But that is a really good needle minder. I'm enjoying that. So thank you to my beautiful daughter, and there's more of her gift card coming up as we move forward. So that's all the cells. Where's my, over there, right. Now where are we going? Sorry, I've got my paperwork all mussed up. Oh, yeah, I said that 1.6%. Oh, and Elton, if I keep going at about 100 stitches a day, at the moment it's telling me it will be finished somewhere around May, June in 2030. But I think at some point I'll probably put more stitches in it, but I'm just really liking it. Right, here we go. New starts. So I've had a few of these. I feel like I've had more than I've actually got here, but anyway. So I've had this in my stash for a long time. And there's been a lot of publicity about Stacy Nash's animal crackers, and my friend Jenny really wants to stitch them. So we decided what we're going to do. We're going to stitch one each, and then we're going to swap and stitch that one, and then when we've done those two, we'll buy two more. So she's working on, excuse me, hold on. Gosh, my throat suddenly got very dry. So she's working on the badger, the girl badger, and this is the one I've had. Now I've had this sitting here for a while, 2020. Sorry, apologies. And it had a piece of fabric in it, which is 28 count lamb's wool, and when I pulled it out, I thought, gosh, this is really, really open. I'm not doing this 2/2 on this, so I'm doing it 1/2, 1/1, sorry. And it's going okay, because it's quite easy to see. But that's as far as I've got, just the top of the head here, just a little bit here. And I didn't have one of the threads the other day when I was stitching this at Coco Xstitch, and I knew I had the thread at home, so I didn't buy another one, because you know what is so exciting? I need a thread. This shop is just 5 minutes away by car. If I walked, it would be 40 minutes. My plan is to actually walk, and it's just Week Style Works. But it's just so cool to be able to go down there and get a Week Style Works. She keeps having to order more because we're buying so much, which is really cool. So that is my Henrietta that eventually will be finished. That's the start, right? So then I had a gift voucher, didn't I? A very generous gift voucher too, by the way. And I thought I'd really like one of the Teresa Kogut books, because they're hard to get here. Like, you've got to order them from somewhere or travel across town and stuff. But Denise, who's the owner of Coco Xstitch, she loves Teresa Kogut, and she said Teresa Kogut is amazing to work with, so she's got a lot of her stuff. So I bought the Hello Spring book. And then you can't just get a gift voucher for Mother's Day and not actually start something. So what I started was Strawberry Delight. It's not very big. And I have some 18 count black Aida, so I thought, let's give it a whirl. The reason I've got some Aida, black Aida, is I was going to do one of the, what's his name? Not Randall Spangler, the other Haid guy who does the Responsible Woman, and there's a trio, jazz trio. I can't think of his name at the moment. That's why I've got black Aida. Anyway, I've started this. So this is almost back to the corner here. And I'm not having much trouble with stitching on this black at all. And I know I've got threads everywhere, but that's just the way it is. It's the way the cookie crumbles at the moment, because it's just so exciting. And then I stitch a KoKo Xstitch and I throw it back in the bag, and then I pull it out to do a floss tube, and that's the way it looks. But I'm enjoying that. And I bought, I think they're mostly DMCs, but I bought that Weeks to go with it. So that is my Hello Spring. So thank you, daughter. And then, because I'm in my Alice box, seeing what else is in there. And this is what started the Alice thing. This is the fabric. So this here is a project bag in progress. And I decided I would stitch this, which I've had in my box for ages. And I'm doing it on 20 count, I don't know what, but some 20 count. And there we go. And then that will run, it'll go like it'll run across the top of this, across here. So I'm having fun with that as well. And I'm stitching away, and then I thought, well, I better go back and catch up on my Elton. So I put it aside. So I get to stitch the clock and the teacups next. That'll be fun, these little two. Yep. So that is a lot of fun. So that project bag got stopped because it had to wait for some cross stitch. So according to this, that's all my new starts. So then we go to whips, which I've now got all out of order. Yep, we're just going to do out of, it doesn't really matter to you, it's just the way I put my notes together. So I was working on this last time, and I've got down to one of the, where am I? I don't know where I am. I've done this leaf. I'm going into that flower. So I haven't done a lot of it, but there you go. I don't know why this is opposite direction to this on the video. That's really weird. Shouldn't they both go the same direction? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. That's what it is. That's what I've done. And I've got a lot of the Weeks and Classic Colourworks. Since I can now buy them locally, I've got threads for that. So that's that one. So we'll just work through my bundle here. That's part of that one. Okay, and Morrison. Sorry, I'm just looking at my monthly challenge. So this appeared 3 times. I've got it 3 times. I've got it as the theme, which is antique, and the plan for that was to finish these letters. And then I had it as O for only blue, which is supposed to be that band, because it's only in blue. And the border under the letters, which was this border that I was working on when I picked it up. So I haven't finished them all, but I'm close. So I've got that border done all the way across. And I've just got the last finish, the F and the G. Actually, I think the F is finished. Yes, the F is finished. So I've just got the G to go. So that'll be the theme antique. And then I've got to do that blue border underneath. So I'm quite enjoying it. And this is 2/2 on a 28 count. Looks like a cream, some sort of cream Zweigart. So I'm quite enjoying that when I pick it up. But as I said, there's just so much going on at the moment that I'm having trouble staying focused on any one thing, except for Elton. Remember Me, I was pretty sure I was working on this last time. I really love this. And one of the ladies, her name's Samantha, who comes to the cross-stitch shop, are doing Let Love Rain on 40 count. It is just beautiful. So every time she works on her Let Love Rain, I want to get this one out. I want to start a new one, but I'm working pretty much on the theory that just one whip per designer kind of thing. Kind of. I've obviously got 2 Teresa Koguts because I've got the one in the book. So here where I've got to with that. So I filled in a bit more of this and it went down here. And she only needs a couple of overdyed. She's got Classic Colourworks used brick and Weeks Dye with Celadon. And then most of the rest of them are DMCs. So that's that one. Oops. Bits and pieces back. And I was listening to, a few of you who write down what your markup or your pattern keeper tell you, and I would like to try and do that because I've got this in markup. I've got quite a lot of these things in markup. So I could if I bothered, but today I thought I'm just going to film because if I don't film today while everyone's out, who knows when it will be. So then we've got Pigeon and Puddle, which I started. This was the first pattern I bought from Coco Xstitch a few weeks back, and I stitched something I stitched the middle of the daffodil in grey instead of in whatever colour it's supposed to be. So I unpicked that, and I don't know, this mightn't be much further along than what it was before. This is a 40 count, I believe. It's an offcut of something because it's only small. But I have managed to get all the cottage garden threads it's supposed to have. Oh, there's a pretty green one there. Yep, so another one I'd like to get back to. I'm not doing a whip parade, by the way. You might think I am, but I'm not. Right. What else was on my... Oh, Pigeon and Puddle is on my magazine monthly challenge for the wire mahogany for the yellow daffodils in that. Okay, that's my whips. And then we get to plans and acquisitions, which I just decided I couldn't really separate them because some of them are started and, well, not started, ready to start. So plans and acquisitions. So what I really, really wanted was Winter Moon. That was the one I really loved the most. And I couldn't get it for a little bit here. And then I found Exquisite Crossstitch, which is an online store just north of me. Coolum, I think. And it popped up. So when I saw it, I thought, I've got to buy that. So I bought the pattern. And then I was at Coco Xstitch and she had a delivery from Fox and Rabbit. And what did she have? She had saltbush. So I helped her out by cutting the fabric. And that's my zigzagging, not hers. So I bought myself a piece of 36 count saltbush, which is what it's stitched on. And then I saw somewhere, someone was talking about Vicky Clayton silks, and I thought, well, I've never tried those. Let's see where I can find them in Australia. So they popped up at the Stitches Merchant, and there's going to be a retreat there at the end of the month. I'm on the waiting list, not holding my breath. And Sherry from Colorado Stitches, she's coming out for it, which would be very exciting to meet her. But yeah, as we say here, we've got Buckley's of getting in. And the reason we say that is because there used to be a shop called Buckley's and Nunn, a department store, and so Buckley's and Nunn was N-U-N, but you know, if you go N-O-N-E, then Buckley's means you've got no chance of getting it. I hope that makes sort of bit of local lingo. Anyway, she had, of all things, a Vicky Clayton kit for Winter Moon. So I thought, I'm going to buy it, and I did. And all I've done is just opened a little bit to see a bit what the threads are like. I have no idea why I haven't started this yet, because, well, why not? So Wasn't that meant to be a pattern, a fabric, and a Vicky Clayton thread kit? So yeah, and then I've got it in this I bought this. This is to put my Vicky Clayton silks in, and they're all going to sit in this lovely project folder I made. I had so much fun making this, just adding hexagons and lace and stuff to this beautiful fabric, and it's got pockets in it. So I thought the project that I had in there is finished, so this special project needs to all go in here. So I'm looking forward to that at some point. Some of this might have to wait till June because trying to keep up with some of the sales, I'm trying to prioritise those. So possibly when May is finished, I probably won't work on Elton quite significantly every day, if that makes sense. So then I discovered the other day, I kept looking at, is it Hollies of Hobbies doing From Velvet to Linen by Kathy Varick, and I've seen it in a couple of other places and I really like it. I discovered that you can buy PDFs on Etsy from Kathy Varick. So I haven't actually got a picture of it, sorry, I've downloaded it into markup, and I've just got this page because markup, I have to put the colour numbers into markup because well, the MPI is obviously in the original, but there's 2, 4, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24 MPIs. I don't think I own a single MPI, so to kit this up would be a rather expensive task, so I thought I'm just going to do it on DMC, and then I still had some gift card money, so I thought this looked like a pretty good match, and I believe this is Country Vintage Mocha. It's a 36 count, and Denise had some of this in the other day, so I bought this to stitch it on. She had some beautiful fox and rabbits, but the colours weren't quite right. So I thought I'm only doing DMC. I'm doing it just because I want to. So, and it'll only take half of this. So I've got a fat quarter, and I think it will only take an eighth on that. So I'm looking forward to starting that. And all I've done is put it in markup. I haven't organised the fabric or anything, though I have up here. On 36 count, it'll measure about, let's not go there because I can't read my writing. Anyway, that is possible new start, acquisition plans, all that. Moonlight Sand. Now this is another one. This was a market purchase from goodness knows when, a few years back. And it was one of those market things that came up, and I've just got to have that one. So it's been sitting there. So we have a lovely cross-stitch shop. This looks really mauve on here, but when you look up the number of the DMC thread it's supposed to match, when I look up, it's Wood Smoke from Lakeside, and the thread doesn't look nearly as purple as that. So I took the thread that fabric's supposed to look like, and worked out that Saltbush is actually probably not a bad colour for it, even though the photograph doesn't look it. So I bought myself a piece of 36 count Saltbush for that one, and this thread is it's left over from the skunks, whatever that was in the skunks, and the gunmetal. So I've got those, so I can start the gunmetal, so I can start the borders. So I can do that, and I can start on this. And then I'll add, well, she uses DMC, but I can add the other collards. That's what that is, collards. I can add the other threads as I go, but I thought at least that way I can start these two borders and get a bit of formatting to work around. It's got all sorts of creatures on it that we don't actually have out here, which is really cool. So that's the plan for that, and I was actually going to start that whenever I picked that fabric up, which was probably 3 weeks ago. And then Samantha, who came to Crossstitches at Brisbane, was going to the Hats retreat at Stitching Time in Hobart, and she decided she wanted to start this one or buy it because this was an exclusive to Hobby House Needleworks. Now, my maiden name was Dickinson, so I thought, well, I can't not buy something that's my maiden name. Now, my dad's done our family tree. We're not closely related to this lady, if at all, and it's a different 200 years apart or something. But anyway, it's cool, and I liked it. So I bought this a while back when it came out, and there was all the hoo-ha about it, and I sent it off to Hobbyworks, and I got it. Anyway, she'd ordered, because there were only supposed to be a couple of copies left. It might be completely sold out by now, I don't know. But the problem was she'd put a PO box on her mailing, and it wouldn't accept it. And it was supposed to arrive like the day before she was going to Hobart, and she wanted to kit it up in Hobart. So I took a photo of this page for her and sent it to her, because the problem was when she corrected the address to her address, it wasn't going to arrive until after she'd flown out. And she was so worried about it. She had a daughter checking every day to, I think it arrived the day after she left, and the daughter picked it up, and it's all good, and she's got it, and she started it. And I'm thinking, well, I should start it. Now, I've had this fabric sitting in there. I don't know where I bought it. It's a 36 count. I don't know what it is. It's obviously a Zweigart, but it's a 36 count natural linen, something like that. So I've got that. So then I'm thinking, well, what will I stitch it with? And I thought, well, I think I would like to stitch it with the Soie d'Alger that is listed for 36 count. So I jumped online because our lovely Denise, you know, you can only build your business one step at a time. She doesn't have these. So I had a look, and I found a place in Queensland, in Brisbane area, that stocks these, a mail order place. So, and she rang me the other day, and I'd only ordered a handful. I thought I'm going to get them in stages. And then she rang me and said she only had 4 of them in. But fortunately, I think the 4 she's got in, she's sending to me while we wait for the others, the border. So I think I'll be able to start the border, and they should arrive in the next day or 2. And I'll be able to start the border. And then I'll add other ones as we go along. And I was talking to Samantha about this, because she's back, had a wonderful time in Tassie. Because you know, it's you only get a little bit of a chart on a page, and it's quite big. It's 253 by 297. And I said to her, how does that work? You know, it's such a big pattern, it's so many pages. She said, I really like that. I don't get overwhelmed. I just stitch one page and then I move on to the next. And I thought, okay, that's what I'll do. I'll just stitch one page. Well, of course, depending on how far I get before all the threads arrive. But anyway, so that is another plan. And I've had that for, I don't know when they released that. I don't know, is it on here? Do they have dates? I don't know. Anyway, so that is all my plans, and I had 2 more pieces of that acquisition, because we're talking about Alice at the cross-stitch shop. See, it's going to be really bad for my pocket. Anyway, and Denise said to me, and I can't remember her name, Lola Olga or something, it's not on here. Have you seen her designs? Now I have, because Laura Stitching by the Shore is stitching, I know she's stitching a Mary Poppins buyer. It's the designer that does things like this. So what is this? This is Alice. Quite like the borders. I've always wanted to do, like there's a lovely Alice talking to a caterpillar on a mushroom in a Heaven and Earth Designs, which is masses of background and stuff. So sometimes I do have a bit of wisdom. I didn't buy that. they were on sale. And then these designs I've always liked. These Mrs. Peggotty Arts on Etsy, and this was on sale too, so I bought this one as well. And I can't wait to start it either. And I also, a friend of mine gave me the Alice with the Flamingo one of hers as well, which I haven't started. So I bought these. They're in markup. The cover sheets are in my Alice box, so I don't forget. And I can't wait to start those either. And then, so all this stuff to stitch, and then Denise is saying, well, come on, you should put some of your patterns in my shop. So I've also been working doing that. She's got a few patterns in the shop, and I must admit, last time I did my Flosstube, I said I'd put some stuff off on Etsy, and I didn't. And I really need to get this one up because this is my latest one. So this is called Black is Black. I designed a couple of things off the back of Jacob's Modern Folk Embroideries back November, and so one of the ones that's selling quite well at the shop is Stars in Your Eyes, which is all black. And so this one I added, so you've got the frame piece, little biscornu, and a little long pillow, and these are stuffed with walnut shells so they can sit up. And there's full instructions in my patterns for how to make this and how to make this with step-by-step photos. So I will try and get that up probably tomorrow. So you'll be able to find that in my Etsy shop. And everything will be linked below. Here's my notes. So, you know, I just have to go copy and paste, and once I add some details that I have to fix because I've doubled up on stuff. So that is, oh, and over here on the bottom line, one thing that magazine challenge, this is what I do. I write things like the Mad Hatter is 129 by, that's not it, over here, sorry, 129 by 80. If I stitch it on 22 count, it will only come out at 6 inches by 8 inches, which I think would be really cute. And this one, if I stitch it on 20 count, it will come out 14.5 inches square. It's 291 stitches. So they'll be lovely, lovely. So yeah, just have to work out things. So where's the nearest bit of paper? And I'll just do some calculator on my phone and write it down. Anyway. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff, and I've been having an absolute ball, and the knitting is supposed to be doing Makers Club at the knitting shop, and it's a bit slow. Do a little bit of knitting here, and then I want to stitch. I just want to stitch. So that's what I've been up to, and it was only April, I think, that my last video, which is not too bad for me on the whole. So we'll see where we go from here. So thank you all very much for watching, and just have a ball with your stitching, guys. Bye.